Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back, student, to the introduction to business. Today, we would like to discuss about planning and decision making. Here's the figures that describe the planning process within the organization. So the planning process will take place within the environment context. Managers must develop a complete and true understanding of this context to determine the organization mission and to develop the strategic, tactical, and operational goals and plans. So the organization mission will have a purpose, premises, values, and direction. So the organization mission will relate it with strategic goals, tactical goals, and operational goals. So strategic goal will be related to the strategic plans. Strategic plan will also related with tactical goal, then tactical goals to tactical plans, then tactical plans to operational goals, then the end with the operational plans. Now we discuss about the organizational goals. So what is the purposes of goals? The purposes of goals is to provide a guidance and a unified of direction for people in the organization. Organizational goals also strongly affect on the quality and of other aspect of planning. Organizational goals is a serve of source motivation for employees and also provide a mechanism for evaluation and control of the organization. Goals has been classified into three types: goals by level, goals by area, and goals by time frame. So goals by level. Goals by level related with the mission assessment, strategic goals, tactical goals, and operational goals. Goals related by divided by area is describing a different functional areas of the organization, such as marketing, finance, human resources, and production. Goals divided by time frame is such as long-term goals, intermediate-term goals, short-term time frame goal, explicit time frame goals, and open-ended goals. Okay, here's the example of organizational goals for a regional fast food chains. You see here there is a mission from the company or from the organization. Their mission is to operate a chain of a restaurant that will prepare and serve high quality food on a timely basis and at reasonable prices. So it will become a strategic goal for this company. Then there is a president and CEO that has a responsibility and obligation to provide 40% return to investors for at least 10 years. Then the president or CEO and CEO start to or purchase a new restaurant chain within 5 years. Then they have to negotiate new labor contract this year. Then it will become the tactical goals for the second line for the in the organization. Vice president operation have a obligation to open 150 new restaurants during next 10 years and then decrease food container cost by 15% during next 5 years, and then also decrease average customer weight by 30 seconds this year. Then vice president in the marketing have a obligation to increase the per store sales 5% per year for 10 years, and then target and attract two new market segments during the next 5 years, and then to develop new promotional strategies for next year. Then vice president in the finance have an obligation to keep corporate debt to no more than 20% of liquid asset for next 10 years, and try to revise computerized accounting system within 5 years, and then earn 9% on the excess cash this year. Then from tactical goals, it become operational goals that has a responsibility from the restaurant manager that has obligation or responsibility to implement employee incentive system within 1 year, and then decrease waste by 5% this year, and hire and training a new assistant manager. Then advertising director has a responsibility to develop regional advertising campaign within 1 year, and negotiate 5 year lower advertising rates next year, and an advertising rate to implement this year promotional strategy. And then the operational goals they also implement to the accounting manager, which is want to split account receivable or payable function from other areas within 2 years, and then computerized payroll system for each restaurant this year, and then pay all invoice within 30 years. Now we discuss about responsibilities of setting goal. Who is actually sets the goals for the company or for the organization? Actually, who set the goal is all manager, because managerial responsibility or managers in the company or organization has a responsibility for goal setting and should correspond to the manager's level in the organization. Then who is managing multiple goals? Managing multiple goals is try to optimize allow manager to balance and reconcile inconsistent or conflicting goal. So manager can choose to pursue one goal and exclude all other, or to seek a mid-range goal. That's who sets the goal and responsibility of setting goals. So, what kind of the organizational plans in the company or organization? First is strategic plans. Strategic plans means a general plan that's set by or for top managements that outline resources allocation, priorities, and action steps to achieve strategic goal. Then there is a tactical plans. There is a plans that aim to achieve the tactical goals set by and for the middle management. And also we have operational plans. It means that this is a short-term plans that focus to set by and for lower level manager. Okay, time frames for planning. Actually, the time dimension of planning, it means that planning must provide sufficient time to fulfill the managerial commitment involved in the company or organization. Then there is a long range plans, which is covers present and future strategic issues extending beyond 5 years in the future. And they also have intermediate plans. In the intermediate plans, it will only cover 1 to 5 years and parallel tactical plan. In the intermediate plans, which is the principal focus of the organizational planning effort, there is also in the time frame for planning short-term plans. Short-term plans mean action plan and reaction of or contingency plans that have a time frame only 1 year or less. The planning is also can be seen from the responsibilities. So first is planning staff. It means that this planning is gather information, coordinate planning activities, and take a broader view than individual manager. And also we have planning task force. It means that they have to create when the organization wants a special circumstances addresses. Then also we have a BOD or board of directors. It means it's to establish corporate mission and strategy, and BOD also may engage in the strategic planning or may approve it. And then we also have a CEO or Chief Executive Officer. They have a responsibility to serve as a president or a board chair that has a major role in the planning and implementing the strategies. Then, planning as a responsibility, we have also executive committee where they have a job to compose of a top executive, and they have to meet regularly with the CEO to review strategic plan. Then a line management. In the responsibility planning, they have a line management that have a formal authority to responsibility for management of the organization. Then line management have to formulate strategy by providing information. Line management also has responsibility for executing the plans of top management. So in a planning, we have a contingency planning and crisis management. Contingency planning means it is the determination of alternative courses of action can be taken if an intended there is an intended plan is unexpectedly disrupted and rendered inappropriate. This plan will help managers to cope with uncertainty and change. Anticipate the problem and develop solution for them before they are happen. So it means that, like for example, nowadays we have the period of COVID-19. So the contingency planning is very important to provide a determination of alternative courses of action, so it can help the manager to cope with the uncertainty, for example the decline of the sales or the decline of the profit. So it can be developed the solution before it happen, or before we can or not prevent, but before to cope with all this period. Okay, we have also crisis management. It means that crisis management is to set the of procedure the organization use in the event of a disaster of other unexpected calamity. And also crisis management is reaction. So this is very needed when it happen like nowadays, a period of COVID-19. So the company must have a crisis management, because from the crisis management can be from the crisis management department, the company will have a advice, like a set of procedure to or for the organization to cope with this disaster or unexpected calamity. So this is the contingency planning. So from this graph or from this draw, you see most of organization develop contingency planning, because this plan can be specify alternative courses of action can be taken if an intended plan is unexpectedly disrupted and or rendered inappropriate. So here we have action 1, action 2, action 3, and action 4. Action 1, for the ongoing planning process. Action 1, they have to develop planning, of course. Then have also from that planning, they have to also consider about the contingency event. Means that unexpected, disrupted, or rendered inappropriate for this planning. They have to plan it also. Then for the action 2, they have to implement the planning and formally identify. Now, then formally identify the contingency event. They have to have the sense of uh, formally to identify about unexpected event. Then also there is also action number 3. They have to specify the indicators. So the company or the organization must have the indicators for the contingency event, and also they have to develop contingency plans for each possible event. So after they specify the indicator, they have to develop the contingency plans for each possible event. So if it is, for example, if this period is not end until 2020, so what should we do? So the company must have the indicator 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, then for the 2021. So it means that action 3 they already done for the contingency planning. So there is also action number 4. This action have a successful complete plans and or contingency plan. So for the action number 3 and the action number 4 they have to monitor contingency event indicators and implement the contingency plan if necessary. So this is the ongoing planning process. Then the company have to develop tactical plans. In this tactical plan, they have to recognize and understanding the strategic plan and the tactical objective first. And then they have to specify relevant resources and time constraint for the tactical plan. Then they have to recognize and identify human resources commitment for developing tactical plans. After they develop the tactical plan, they have to execute tactical plan. So in this part, they have to evaluate each course of action in the light of the objective. Then they have to obtain and distribute information and resources within the organization. Then they have to also monitor horizontal and vertical communication and also integration activities. In the executing tactical plan, they have also monitor ongoing activities for goal achievement for the company. This is the type of operational plans. First is single-use plan. This single-use plan only designed to deal with a unique or recurring situation. For example, here I give post-Katrina recovery of MGM Grand. For example, nowadays, how our company within the Indonesia to recover from for the new normal. Then they have also have a clear time frame for the useful. Usually it's a short term period. In this single use plan, they are used once and then they discard it. Another operational plan, they have a standing plan. It means that a standing plan is an ongoing guided or ongoing guides for action dealing with recurring situation. For example, here marketing plan for a global expansion. And then you can say for marketing plans for the new normal period. So it means that it is a standing plans. Then here managing goal setting and planning processes. So actually we have a barrier to goal setting and planning. As part of managing the goal setting and planning process, manager must understanding the barrier that can be interrupted them or this planning process. So manager must also know how to overcome them. So if they already know about what barriers, the manager also must know how to cope, how to overcome those barriers. So what is barrier to goal setting and planning process? So first is we see inappropriate goals. Usually goal is sometimes is unrealistic, unethical. Then the barriers for the goal setting and planning is improper reward system. Usually it will be short-term result instead of the long-term ones. Then dynamic and complex environments. Then also reluctant to establish goals because it is can be it be, can the established goals can be accountable. So as also resistant to change, for example, like nowadays because of the pandemic. So the education system must change from the conventional system into the uh, 4.0 system. So it means that there is a technology change from the old traditional system into the new technology. Then they have a resources constraint, so it will be become the barriers to goal setting and planning process. So how to reduce a barrier to goal setting and planning process? First, the company or the organization have to understand the purpose of the goals and the planning, because it will be explain the consequences of doing nothing. Then the communication and participation within the organization, every level of the organization, because they have to make your own your goals their goals. It means that the organization goals will be become the actors in the company goals. So how to reduce the barriers is it needs consistency, revision, and updating, and also it has it it have or it must have effective reward system. So this is the how to reduce barrier to goal setting and planning process. This figure is explained about the formal goal setting process. So what is the formal goal setting process? The formal goal setting process is an effective technique to integrate goal setting and planning. So this figure is give us a description about the general steps that most organizations use when they adopt the formal goal setting. And of course, most organizations have to adapt this general process to fit their own unique needs and circumstances. So, first step is they have to set the formal goal setting program. After they after they already format the formal goal setting program, they have to establish of organizational goals and planning. Then all they have to collaborate goal setting and planning. Between the collaboration and periodic review, they have their own step. So that's why the color is different with other color. It is with orange color. In before the periodic review, they have to communicate the organizational goals and plans within the organization. They have a meeting, they have a variable goals and clear plans, they have to do the counseling, they have to review the resources within the companies. After they already done that step, for the goal setting and planning process, they will have the periodic review. After the periodic review for the goal setting, formal goal setting program, they have to evaluate. After they do the evaluation, it will be, if there is a weaknesses from the formal goal setting program, they have start for the second step again to establish of the organizational goals and plans for the company. So how formal goal setting contribute to organizational success. Uh, the company have to improve the employee motivation, have to enhance the communication, have to foster more objective performance appraisal, have to focus attention on appropriate goal and plan, and also have to help in the identify managerial talent, have to provide a systematic management philosophy, and the organization have to facilitate control of the organization. So what is the factor can contribute for the failure of the former goal setting? First, they have a poor implementation of the goal setting process. Then they have a lack of top management support for the goal setting. They have a delegation of the goal setting process to lower level. they they have a over emphasis on the quantitative goals, too much paperwork and record keeping, and on the managerial level resistant to the goal setting.